You wake up, grab your phone, 0 notifications. No one looked for you while you slept. It's not just today. It's been months, maybe years. You don't even remember the last time someone called just to talk. And the worst part, you pretend you're fine. I like being alone. I don't need anyone. But when you see a group laughing on the street, something twists inside you. The truth no one talks about. Not having friends isn't about being antisocial. It's about having learned that getting close to someone hurts more than staying alone. You don't avoid people by preference. You avoid them because you were trained to. Someone abandoned you when you needed them most, maybe in childhood, maybe in your teens, and your brain recorded, if I don't get close, they won't hurt me. Now you live in a prison you built yourself. You call it peace, but it's disguised terror. And every day that passes, the walls get higher. Here's what no one told you. Chronic loneliness isn't lack of opportunity. It's an untreated psychological wound that makes you sabotage every chance of connection. You push people away before they leave you. And God, He sees this. He knows what happened to you. But what He's trying to teach you through this pain can change everything. This has a name. It's called self-imposed emotional exile. And it started long before you realized you were a child. Someone should have protected you, but disappeared. Someone should have stayed, but left. Someone should have chosen you, but chose someone else. And in that moment, you learned the wrong lesson. I don't deserve to be chosen. Carl Jung would call this the shadow of the inner orphan. It's the part of you that was abandoned and never healed. It lives inside you, hidden, controlling your decisions. When someone gets close, it screams, "Careful, it's going to hurt again," and you obey. That's why you cut ties before creating them. That's why you distrust any gesture of affection. That's why you interpret invitations as traps. Your brain isn't protecting you. It's imprisoning you. The original wound was never treated. It was buried, and now it commands your entire life. You think you're choosing solitude, but actually, you're obeying the fear of a wounded child. And here's the part no one explains. The more you isolate yourself, the more you confirm the belief that you're unlovable. You avoid people. They don't look for you. And you think, see, I was right. Nobody cares. But it's not true. You never gave anyone the chance to prove otherwise. You locked the door from the inside and blame the world for not coming in. Loneliness is not your identity. It's your armor. And God is calling you to take it off. You thought you were protecting yourself, but you were destroying yourself. Every time you refused an invitation, you thought, I'm sparing myself. Every time you ignored a message, you thought, it's not worth it. Every time you pretended to be busy, you thought, it's better this way. But it wasn't protection. It was self-sabotage. You turned fear into a life philosophy. I don't need anyone. People disappoint. Solitude is freedom. Beautiful phrases, practical lies. The truth is harsh. You're not alone because people are bad. You're alone because you're so afraid of being rejected that you reject first. And this became a vicious cycle. Someone approaches, you distrust. Someone insists, you withdraw. Someone gives up, you confirm. See, I knew it. You called this wisdom, maturity, self-preservation, inner strength, learning from past mistakes. But God calls solitude it prison is anesthesia, because solitude you don't feel pain, is not peace. But you don't feel anything. You live in a safe void, controlled, dead. And the worst part, you got used to it. You normalized the abnormal. You live as if it were choice. But deep down, you know it's fear. Fear of being seen. Fear of being known. Fear of trusting again. Fear of being loved and then abandoned again. And this fear became your identity. You're not selective with friendships. You're terrified of intimacy. You're not emotionally independent. You're traumatized. You don't prefer quality over quantity. You're afraid of people. And as long as you don't name this for what it really is, you'll stay trapped. But God never wanted you to live like this. He didn't create you to live locked up. He didn't create you to starve emotionally while calling it peace. He created you to belong. And everything you went through, every rejection, every abandonment, every disappointment, God will use to teach you something that will break these chains. If you made it this far, it wasn't by accident. Something inside you recognized this pain. You're not reading this to pass time. You're reading because you need answers. because you're tired of living trapped in a loneliness no one sees. Because you want to understand why God allowed you to go through all of this. Click the button right now and subscribe to this channel. Here, every video reveals the psychology behind your pain and the spiritual purpose God hid in it. Psalm 68:6 says, God sets the lonely in families. It's not poetry, it's a promise. God sees you alone, and He acts. He didn't abandon you in loneliness. He placed you there to teach you something you'd never learn in the crowd. Because loneliness is not punishment, it's revelation. God allowed you to be alone, to show you who was really with you all along. Him, not the people who abandoned you, not the friends who disappeared, Him. You spent years blaming God for your isolation. Why doesn't He give me friends? Why does He let me suffer like this? But the right question is different. Why do you build walls against the people He already sent? Because God already tried to connect you, and you rejected them. Out of fear, the loneliness you live in is not God's absence. It's the classroom where He teaches you to trust again. Proverbs 18:24 says, there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. God didn't promise you crowds. He promised true connections. But to receive this, you need to stop sabotaging. God didn't take friends from you. He took you away from false connections that would destroy you. Every person who disappeared from your life, God allowed it, not to punish you, to protect you, because you were clinging to crumbs thinking it was a feast. And now He's preparing you, teaching you the difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is emptiness. Solitude is God's presence. He isolated you from the noise, so you'd finally hear His voice. And that voice is saying, you won't live like this forever. Because God doesn't waste pain. He transforms it. He's using this loneliness to break the wound that made you build walls, to heal the inner orphan that commands your life, to teach you that being vulnerable isn't being weak, it's being human. And when you understand this, God will open doors you never imagined. He'll bring people who won't abandon you, who will stay, who will choose you. But first, you need to let Him heal what made you so afraid of being chosen. If this message is making sense to you, subscribe to the channel now and leave in the comments a phrase that summarizes what you're learning here. It doesn't need to be long, just sincere. Right, I choose to trust again. Because when you declare this, something changes inside you. Now comes the practical part, because understanding isn't enough. You need to act, and the first action will hurt, but it will set you free. Identify one person you pushed away out of fear, someone who tried to get close and you blocked them, someone who invited you and you made up an excuse, someone who showed genuine interest and you interpreted it as a threat. That person exists. You know who it is, and now you're going to do something radical. You're going to admit to yourself that it was you who sabotaged it. It wasn't lack of chemistry. It wasn't bad timing. It was fear. You were afraid of being known, afraid of getting attached, afraid of trusting and being abandoned again. Grab your phone. Open the conversation with that person. You don't need to explain everything. You don't need to expose yourself completely. But you need to take a step. A simple message. Hey, long time. How are you? It seems small, but for you, it's breaking down a wall. Because healing doesn't come from grand gestures. It comes from small obediences. God isn't asking you to trust everyone. He's asking you to give someone a chance. One person, one step, one conversation, and see what happens. And here's what you need to know. The first attempt will be uncomfortable. Your body will resist. Your mind will scream, it's a trap. Your inner orphan will panic, but you don't obey it anymore. You obey God, and God is saying, try again. Don't expect immediate results. Don't expect the person to respond with enthusiasm. Don't expect everything to be resolved in one conversation. The goal isn't the result. It's breaking the pattern. It's proving to yourself that you can risk again, even with fear. And while you do this, pray. Not a generic prayer, a specific prayer. God, teach me to trust without destroying myself. Show me who is safe, and give me courage to try. Because God doesn't heal those who don't move. He opens doors, but you need to walk to them. This is the first action. Simple, frightening. Because
Necessary.
You won't escape loneliness waiting for someone to invade your walls. You need to open the gate, and God will be on the other side, guiding every step. Now, if you got distracted, come back here with me and pay attention to this. which is the most important part of the entire video. The second action is even deeper, and it goes straight to the root of the wound. You're going to write a letter, but not to send it. A letter to the person who abandoned you, the one who taught you that closeness means pain. It could be a father, a mother, a childhood friend, an ex, whoever planted the fear you carry today. Write everything, unfiltered, without mercy, without trying to be fair or balanced. Put on paper the anger, the hurt, the confusion, the betrayal. You left me when I needed you most. You made me believe I wasn't important. You taught me that loving means losing. Write until it hurts, until you're tired, until you're empty, because you never processed this pain. You buried it, and now it commands your life from underground. It decides who you let in. It sabotages every new connection. It turns every invitation into a threat. And as long as you don't name this pain, it will keep controlling you. After writing, read it out loud, alone, in your room. Let the words come out. Let the emotion come. Cry if you need to. Scream if you need to. Because this letter isn't for the person who hurt you. It's for you to free yourself from them. It's for you to take that weight from inside and put it outside. And then, do something symbolic. Burn the letter, or tear it into small pieces, or throw it away. The physical act matters because you're telling your brain, this story is over. I don't carry this anymore. It's not about forgiving yet. It's about letting go. It's about stopping the past from deciding the future. Now comes the spiritual part. After destroying the letter, pray for whoever hurt you. Not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Pray like this: God, I surrender this person to you. I can't forgive yet, but I trust that you will heal what they broke in me, remove from me the fear they planted, and let God work. Because here's the truth that changes everything. You won't heal from loneliness while you're trapped by the person who taught you to be alone. As long as you carry their wound as identity, you'll repeat the pattern. You'll push away whoever tries to enter. You'll confirm the prophecy, I always end up alone. But it doesn't have to be this way. God is showing you the way out. It's not fast, it's not easy, but it's real. And every step you take, however small, breaks a chain, until one day you look back and realize the walls have fallen. And for the first time in years, you're no longer afraid of being loved. You wake up, grab your phone, and this time, there's a notification. Someone looked for you, not because you begged, but because you opened space, because you stopped sabotaging, because you let God work on the wound that made you run. Loneliness wasn't your identity, it was your protection, and God respected that until the moment you were ready to let go. He never abandoned you in isolation. He met you there, healed you there, taught you there that you didn't need the walls to survive. You always thought not having friends was about being rejected. But the truth is, you were rejecting yourself. You were confirming the lie someone planted in you. You're not worthy of being chosen. And every time you distanced yourself from someone, you reinforced that belief until it became who you were. But God never believed that lie. He saw you alone and promised, I set the lonely in families, not as punishment, as purpose. Because He knew you needed to learn something before receiving true connections. You needed to learn that being loved isn't a trap, it's grace. And now you understand. Every person who disappeared from your life, God allowed it. Not because you didn't deserve love, but because that wasn't love. It was repetition. It was you accepting crumbs again. And God loved you too much to let you starve while calling it a feast. The loneliness you lived wasn't wasted. It was preparation. God isolated you from the noise so you'd finally hear the truth. You were always worthy of belonging, always worthy of being chosen, always worthy of real friendship. But first, you needed to believe it. And now, you believe. The walls are still there, but now they have doors, and you're no longer afraid to open them, because you learned that vulnerability isn't weakness, it's courage. That trusting again isn't naivety, it's faith. That trying again isn't foolishness, it's freedom. You had 0 notifications. Now you have one, tomorrow, maybe 2, and one day, you look around and realize you're not alone anymore. Not because the world changed, but because you changed, and God was waiting for that all along. If this message made sense to you, subscribe to our channel. Here, Every story reveals why you suffer and what God is teaching you through it. Psychology to understand yourself, spirituality to understand the why. And for you who made it to the end of this video, leave in the comments, "I choose to belong." Declare this, because when you put it into words, something changes inside you. And God honors every step of faith you take, however small. He's preparing true connections for you, people who will stay, who will choose you, who won't abandon you. But you need to declare that you're ready to receive this. Right now, I choose to belong.